I recently watched a video about the struggles of an African immigrant working in Canada. You might have seen that video too.
Have you faced any sort of discrimination?
Don't come to Canada if you're stable back home. It's not worth it.
And I thought today I would address some of the issues that were raised in that video. Are you thinking of coming to Canada, or are you here already and you are struggling? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 reasons why you should not leave your country to become an immigrant in Canada. Let us dive into this video. Hello everyone, my name is Kola. I have lived in Canada for over 20 years and I share content about growing older and wiser as a Canadian immigrant. Welcome back to this side of life. And if you're new here, welcome and thank you all so much for joining me today. So diving right in, the first reason why you should not leave your country to become an immigrant in Canada or any other country for that matter is if you cannot stand the slightest form of discrimination. So in this video, the African immigrant that was interviewed is a psychiatric consultant from Nigeria who came into Canada as a research student. And he talked about being discriminated against as a supervisor in his place of work, like the job that he got. And he talked about systemic discrimination. So my thinking is, yeah, you were being discriminated against as a supervisor. But here in this same Canada, there are Africans who are consultants, doctors, gynecologists, psychiatrists. I know like 4 consultant psychiatrists here in my city who are Nigerians. And there are directors of companies and there are vice presidents of companies who are Nigerians and who are Africans. So are they being discriminated against, or what would you say about their situation? You know, in terms of discrimination, you are new to the country. People are not familiar with you. And some people have never dealt with somebody like you before. Probably you have different take on things. And so it's going to be rough in the beginning. They're not going to be used to you. You are not going to be used to them. And I always ask people, are you friendly and accommodating to everybody that you meet? If you meet a strange person, are you immediately friendly with them? You are immediately accommodating to them. So yeah, discrimination is something that will happen anyway because of the difference in different people. Even within families, there's discrimination between parents and their children. The children will sometimes think that their parents are discriminating against them. We are always quick to jump to the R word, but I keep saying it, that the people that are racist are in the minority. Majority of people are good and kind. Majority of people want to get along with you. I mean, even if you are different, even despite your differences, they want to get along with you. So I just think that we should stop seeing racism or discrimination everywhere and look beyond that and see, is there something that I need to change about myself? Is there something that I'm doing wrong? This is a new environment. Maybe I'm not doing something right that I need to do right. I think we should just think outside the box and look at other solutions to the situations that we find ourselves in. And another question I would like to ask the good doctor is, are we saying that there's no discrimination in our home country? I leave you all to answer that question. Number 2, do not leave your country to become an immigrant in Canada, US, UK, Australia, Europe, or anywhere if you believe that accountability makes the work less enjoyable. Like the consultant psychiatrist from Nigeria said in that video, he would rather go to work and relax and talk with the people about how their day went, how they are doing, and find out about events and people and things like that, rather than having his work regimented and scheduled so that he has to finish certain things at certain times. I think when the work is scheduled and is regimented and you know what you're supposed to do at every point in time, I think it helps with productivity and better results. Unlike in some countries where people go to work and they sit around all day, they don't do anything, they are actually even doing their own thing. They are trading, somebody's selling clothes, somebody's selling shoes, and everybody's exchanging goods and services in the office when they are supposed to be focused on the work that they are there to do. No wonder things don't work. No wonder things don't get done and productivity is low. Here in Canada, you definitely work for every dollar that you earn. And I think that is rightly so. You should work for every dollar that you earn. Like my old boss would say, there's no free lunch in Freetown. He also said that Canada makes you feel like you are working for your money. So I was thinking, so in Nigeria, you are not working and you are getting money. So I couldn't really understand that. I think that if you work, you should be able to say that this is the value that you are adding. This is what you are bringing to the table wherever you work. And you should also enjoy. It doesn't mean that because you are adding value, because you are getting results, you cannot enjoy your work. You can enjoy your work and also get results and be productive at the same time. My conclusion is that if you think that hard work or accountability for the work that you do makes work less enjoyable, then you should not leave your country to become an immigrant in Canada or any other country. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think about the doctor's take on work versus my take on work? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's go on. Number 3, do not leave your country if you are stable back home. Do not leave your country to become a Canadian immigrant or an immigrant in any country if you are stable in your home country. You know, the doctor in this video said that he left his hospital. He had a hospital where he was a consultant psychiatrist. He had drivers, he had workers, he had his practice, and he had cars, multiple cars and houses. And yet he left to become an immigrant in Canada. My question is, why would you do that? Why did he do that? Because to me, it's obviously a step down for him. In fact, many steps down for him. Because he's here now and he's a research student. He's trying to put in his application to get his papers recognized as a doctor in Canada. Why would you do that? Why would you leave everything that you had back in Nigeria, all those things that you had, and come and subject yourself to that situation that you now find yourself in Canada? He went on to say that the life in Canada is a fleece, it is a mirage, it is not worth it. And I think I agree with him, because in his situation, it is not worth it. That's why I'm saying you need to count the cost. You need to understand what will happen to you when you come as an immigrant to Canada. So to me, it doesn't really make sense in his case. He should just have stayed back at home and enjoyed the life that he had back in Nigeria. And also to me, I see some lack of contentment there. You know, like what Yoruba people will call ojukokoro. You know, you want to eat your cake and have it. And that's not possible in life. You have to make your choice and then live with your choice. Moving on. Number 4, do not leave your country and come to Canada as an immigrant if you are coming for the sake of your children. This one always baffles me. People will say, oh, I'm coming for the sake of my children. And at the end of the day, when things don't go right, when they have problems, they start to blame the children. Because that's the way I see it. If you say you came here because of your children and then you start complaining about everything, then you are blaming the children that they are the ones that brought you here. And that's why you are experiencing all these issues. And if you say you are coming for the children, what if the children don't want to come? What if the children do not appreciate it? Or what if it doesn't work out for the children? What are you going to do then? I think you should have your own reason. If you are coming as an immigrant, you should have your own reason for coming, not because of the children. You should have your own personal reason for making that decision to leave your country and become an immigrant, and don't blame it on your children. And also, I wonder, why do you need to come with your children? There are many people that send their children to Canada to school, and they don't have to come with the children, and the children do quite well. In fact, some of these children that are sent to Canada, they do better than children that were born here. So really, if you want to have a good life for your children, many people do this in countries like Nigeria, for example. The politicians, all their children are here and they are back in Nigeria because they have a good life over in Nigeria. So you don't have to come with your children. You can just send your children over here and they will be fine, so that you don't continue saying, oh, I came because of my children, and so I'm enduring all these things because of my children. Really, find your own reason. And if you don't have a reason, then don't come. Don't take that leap. Don't leave your country. And number 5, finally, do not leave your country to become an immigrant anywhere if you are not up for a challenge. Being an immigrant is challenging. It is not easy. It is not an easy road. I think people have very unrealistic expectations. I was reading a comment somewhere and the person was saying, I have a PhD and my husband has a PhD. We came to Canada and landed and we found out there were issues with school for our children. We couldn't find a job and things like that. And after 8 days, we went back to where we were coming from. So I'm like, okay, 8 days. Everybody on that comment section was saying 8 days It's not a long time to be able to make any decision. You know, it takes time. It takes time to settle down. Coming to a new country is like starting all over again. It does take time to get your bearings right and to be able to settle down. And it takes resilience and courage. And it takes a lot out of you to be able to succeed as an immigrant, because you are in a different place. You are in a new country. This is not your native environment. And so you have to have that extra thing in you that will drive you to succeed in this new environment. And also, I don't think that even the native Canadians, I mean, Canada is such a multicultural country, but the people who are white Canadians, you know, Caucasian Canadians, they don't have everything handed out to them on a platter of gold. It's not as if everything is smooth and rosy for them. No, it is not because you are an immigrant. It's just that because you're an immigrant, you have to put in that extra effort. But it's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for anybody. So I think when you are coming to Canada, or if you are already here, you need to have a thick skin and you need to be resilient. You need to have the can-do attitude and be ready to overcome all the obstacles that are going to come your way. Because yes, there are going to be obstacles. It's not easy. There are going to be ups and downs. There will be roadblocks that you have to go through, things that you need to do. There are people that have been trailblazers. You should ask people who were immigrants like 40 years ago and ask them to compare what life was like back then to what it is now. It is definitely easier for immigrants now than it was way back then. So as an immigrant, you are a pioneer, you are a trailblazer, and you have to have what it takes to be able to succeed with all the limitations that are around you. So I think people should come to Canada or to any other country as immigrants with realistic expectations. And to set your expectations right, you need to do your research. I cannot say it often enough that you need to do your research. Ensure you know what you are getting yourself into. And also believe your research, because the doctor in that interview was saying that, oh, even though you do your research, it's still not the same when you come. Believe your research. If your research tells you that it takes 1 year to be able to get a job, or you have to go to school to be able to get a job, or it is difficult to find accommodation, then believe your research and plan accordingly. There are people that succeed. There are people that are thriving here in Canada, and I'm sure in other countries as immigrants. There are many, many, many stories of immigrants that have succeeded and have done great things in their adopted countries. It's not going to be different for you. You just have to set your expectations right and be strong and resilient and be ready to do what it takes to get through all the barriers and succeed as an immigrant. So yeah, I'm glad though that the doctor ended up his interview by saying he sees a brighter future and that he's getting valuable knowledge from Canada. I am glad he said that, and that he can then take the knowledge that he's getting from Canada back to build Africa and also to share with the international community. And he also said, of course, he will get the reward of a Canadian citizenship, which I think was his why in the first place. Just my own thinking. And you can also watch another video that I made, which I will link here and here, where I talked about how to move to Canada and succeed. And that's all I had for today. Thank you so much for joining me again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. I also would like to hear what you think about today's topic. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the reasons why you shouldn't leave your country to become an immigrant. And be sure to check out other videos as well on my channel. Until I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye.